This morning, we gather together to worship as a community of all ages.
Let us take a moment to look around at those of us sharing this sacred space. So let's do that and really look at each other. And look behind you and next to you and see everyone. Really look at each other.
Let us recognize the hearts of our whole community, from our elders to our youngest and all the ages in between.
Let us embody the beauty of this whole church, this whole community, even when there are a few wiggles, giggles, and new guys making mistakes.
Let us remind ourselves to listen carefully, calming our bodies and our minds. Can we take a breath in and a breath out?
Begin by breathing peace and joy into this sacred space. 3 breaths. So we've done 1, let's do 2 more. And really take a good deep breath in. And on this last one, take a good deep breath in and then let it just fall out like a sigh.
Know you are surrounded by the love of this community where all are welcome.
The story we're going to tell together is Bear Came Along by Richard T. Morris, illustrated by Luyuen Pham. Once there was a river that flowed night and day, but it didn't know it was a river until Bear came along. Bear was just being curious when he realized what the river could do, but he didn't really know he was on an adventure until Froggy hopped on. Froggy was a lonely frog who was looking for a friend. She didn't know how many she had until the turtles showed up. The turtles tried to warn them about things that could go wrong, but they didn't know how to enjoy the ride until Beaver climbed aboard. Beaver was born to be the captain. He knew exactly where to go, but he didn't know about the detours until the raccoons dropped in. Yo! The raccoons were so excited about the twists and turns ahead, but they didn't know they had to be careful until Duck. They crashed into Duck. Duck was so content being right where she was, but she didn't know there was a world to see until, oh no, what's up ahead? Good. Bear held on to Froggy. Froggy held on to Turtles. Turtles held on to Beaver. Beaver held on to Raccoons. Raccoons held on to Duck. Oh, what a ride! So many different animals living their separate lives. They didn't know they were in it together until the river came along. All right, so let's thank our storytellers. Thank you. It's wonderful to have friends along for the journey down the river of our lives, the twists and turns, the detours, the oh-no's when something goes wrong, the adventures, the challenges, and celebrations. So thank you all for helping out with Bear Came Along.
Water has always been a mirror throughout my life's journey, sometimes as rivers and oceans and places that I've lived, and other times as wake-up calls conveyed by dreams. In elementary school, I spent the majority of my time outdoors, exploring the woods, and I would sneak to a farmer's pond by crawling under an electric fence. I'd gather aquatic life. Our garage became full of buckets, jars, little aquariums of pond plants, frog eggs, and minnows. After a family vacation, we came home to discover that the tadpoles had grown into frogs. They were hopping all over the garage. My fascination with biology began, which led to my career choices. I worked as a naturalist at outdoor science schools and summer camps for my first half of my adult life. Like Interfaith Peace Camp here at UU, our kids came to our site for a week. We hiked in the redwoods while learning science. The best part of the week, was going to the shore. And we spent time exploring tide pools. We found sea anemones, sea stars, and sometimes octopi. We watched seals, listened to the harsh cry of gulls, smelled the scent of fish, felt the sticky salt on our skin, and played in the sand while the ocean waves crashed against the shore. During times where I needed to make a change, I dreamed of water. When I was trying to handle challenges in my life without accepting help, I had nightmares of water breaking through the windows of a ship as I helplessly ran from drowning. In my real life, as I sought help, my dreams changed to being in a multi-storied house with many possibilities in each room, but still slowly being flooded. As I became even healthier, my dreams transformed to symbolizing a healthy cleansing, with rainwater flowing off tiled roads, into clean gutters, down to flow across streets into the sea, washing my fears away. So I renewed a meditation practice, and one of my favorite methods of finding peace, even today, is to picture a clear running stream, flowing over polished rocks with little white crests, surrounded by plants and forests dappled by sunlight. I then picture brightly colored autumn leaves slowly flowing across the water's surface. For each leaf, I name a worry or challenge or sorrow from my life. Then I observe these leaves as they flow downriver, letting that feeling or event go past and leave me. Afterward, those daily worries and painful emotions pass, leaving me still observing the river. The phrase, "go as a river, not as a drop of water," spoken by Thich Nhat Hanh, is a philosophy around which we can shape our lives. Today's water communion ceremony is a ritual that brings us together into community, no matter how far we've traveled or our diverse life journeys. Life is easier when we join together as a congregation to work against today's oppressions than if we face life's challenges alone.
Today, I'd like to offer a reading. This is a piece that was written as an article in a publication called the Lakota Times. It's a Native American publication. The author is a Native American journalist named V. Waln. And what Mr. Wallen's doing is this article is he's talking about sort of the Lakota belief system a little bit about water and its sacredness. Before I start, I just want to orient you all to a few words that I'm going to use here that you might never have heard before. The first word is hanblecha. Hanblecha is a Lakota ceremony that's a vision quest ceremony, and it's usually performed 1 to 3 days of fasting, 1 to 4 days actually of fasting, including refraining from drinking any water. And the idea is to pray for a vision during that time, to empty out the body of food and water as one fills the body of the Spirit, praying for a vision for the community. So that's hanblecha. The other word you're going to hear is wikoni. That means water is life. And you'll hear me at the very end of this reading say the words aho metakuyasin. That is a Lakota saying that means, it's their version of amen. When I finish, I'll say aho metakuyasin, and if you want, you don't have to, but if you want, you can reply aho. And if not, if you don't feel comfortable with it, that's okay too. Aho metakuyasin means all my relations. It's a reminder that we're all interconnected, not just with each other, but with the entire planet, all the animals, everything living around us. So all my relations. Last word is medicine. This doesn't mean ibuprofen. It refers to the idea of spiritual medicine. And sometimes in Lakota traditions and most Native American traditions, medicine is considered both spiritual and physical, and they're often interrelated. If you're ill, it might be because you're out of line with your relationship to the community or to the Creator, and that might be what's causing your illness. So sometimes the medicine is about correcting your spiritual issue so that your physical issue can also resolve. So you'll hear all of those words in here. It's a very short article, shorter than what I just did here. So, Mr. Wallen writes, many of us don't understand the sacredness of water. It's a compound which can exist as a liquid, solid, vapor. Modern society has conditioned us to take our water for granted. You probably don't give much thought to the water coming out of your tap. Perhaps the only time you notice your water is when something happens to stop the flow. There would be no life without water. Water is an essential in Lakota ceremony. Water is medicine. The Lakota people who Sundance or Hanblecha understand how painful life is without water. As human beings, we should never take our water for granted. We can heal ourselves with water. Water is transformed into medicine. When water is transformed into medicine, it will have a healing effect on our bodies. The late Dr. Masaru Emoto was a Japanese scientist who researched the healing powers of Told you I'd make mistakes. The late Dr. Masaru Emoto was a Japanese scientist who researched how the power of healing prayers and positive thought can change the molecular structure of water. I remember attending a ceremony several years ago where a man shared a vision he once had about water. Heal the water and everything else will follow, he said. Some of us drink water from the Ogallala Aquifer. Others use water which is piped in from the Missouri River. But all water is sacred. We should not think the river water is of inferior quality, because our prayers and our thoughts affect all our water, whether it's inside of us coming through the pipes from the aquifer or the river. The late Dr. Emoto studied water for many years. He provided proof of what Lakota people have known all along. Human thoughts can change the molecular structure of water. Our prayer over water transforms it into medicine. Emoto is famous for his work in determining how human thought and different genres of music can dramatically change the molecular structure of water. One experiment he conducted involved 3 glass beakers of rice covered with water. For 1 month, every day, he said to one of the rice-filled beakers, "Thank you." The second beaker of rice was told, "You're an idiot." While the third container of rice was totally ignored. The rice which was thanked every day was fermenting after a month and smelled good. The rice that was told every day, "You're an idiot," turned black. The rice which was neglected turned green with rot. Dr. Emoto stated this: "The experiment was an important lesson, especially with regard to how we treat children. We should take care of them, give them attention, converse with them. Indifference does the greatest harm. Numerous experiments aimed at finding the word that cleanses water most powerfully have shown it's not just one word, but a combination of 2: love and gratitude." Water transformed through prayer is found in most Lakota ceremonies. The water of life is also found in the water buckets and drums used in our Native American church. I've often wondered what the late Dr. Emoto would have found in the molecular structure of water after it had been prayed over in a Lakota or Native American church ceremony. Water is our first medicine. Professionals in the medical field have often been astounded when a Lakota person makes a complete recovery after receiving medicine at a ceremony. Many want to know what was in the medicine which brought the cure. They're often surprised when they learn the medicine was water. All it takes is for you to offer a simple prayer to transform your water. You can teach your family the daily practice of offering a heartfelt prayer of love and gratitude to your water. There is no life without water. Always give love and gratitude to your water. Mni wikoni, water is life. Aho mitakuyasin.
How many of you have heard that song before or can remember it? 145. Oh, it's such a good song. It's a little long for a tattoo, but put it up in your office or things. There's so many great imagery going through it as tranquil streams that meet and merge and flow as one to seek the sea. So do we, all of us here, of all ages, those who are 5, those who are 95, those who are everywhere in between. There's so many good pieces of this service today. Didn't feel like much sermon was really needed. I'm so grateful for all the little drops that together have created a little stream for us here as we regather for another congregational year as members and friends of UUCCI. I'm grateful for Judson to be here in his first Sunday in the pulpit with us. Jennifer also being new to the Sunday services team. We have so many wonderful little drops all through here. And in this song we just sang, the two kind of phrases, flow as one and seek the sea, are the pieces I'm most interested in today, because I think that's our work, is considering how we can flow as one. It's really easy to drop as many. It's much harder to flow as one. And here's a couple reasons I think why. One is, when you become one, you forget, I forget that I'm still a drop. When we flow as one, we might just be on that lazy river, going down, not much to do, just flow. But in fact, you are still that drop that required agency and independence and consent to fall. To fall and come into these spaces and to come back into these spaces again and again. You choose that as a drop. And if we get too mistaken when we become one in the water, we lose ourselves. And we lose the reality that this is not possible because of us. It's because of each of you that makes us possible. So when we pour the water, I invite us to imagine, even though we'll drop more than a drop, to think of ourselves as not getting lost in the water. Okay, that's the first reminder. The second one is seeking the sea. What's this sea? Is that God talk? Is that some tricky thing that Nick's trying to do? No. It's really whatever you're seeking right now in life. That might be greater peace. That might be more compassion and kindness. That might be a big shift in your life. Maybe it's a shift to a new job or a shift to a new relationship. Whatever that is that you're seeking together, this can be a place where we seek that together with you. And that's where that individuality still matters. Amidst our oneness in water, in the flowing that we'll do, it matters your seeking is still honored and celebrated. So don't just say, well, whatever Nick wants, he seeks something, I'll seek with him. No, tell me what you want. What does Judson want? A cheeseburger. Okay, we got all the seeking here, okay? This is a place for seekers. And seekers need not be lost when they're in community, and even when they're alone or seemingly alone out in the world. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this ritual, which has been going on in Unitarian congregations for over 40 years. That's older than some of us. 40 years that people have been coming together to pour water, to mingle the waters of our lives, to remember that we are a part of this together. Some of you may have brought water today. Anyone bring water today? It's a good reminder. That's why we do it every year. So you put in your calendar, next year I'll remember. But if you don't, we have this beautiful water pitchers here. And all of that water is just as beautiful as you are. So in a moment, you're welcome to come forward and pour a little water into this common bowl and then go back to your seats. And most likely, the safest way to do this will be to go out this way and to come in this way, okay? If there is any mobility issues, maybe we can be mindful of that, and folks who need to get back that way as a shorter route can do that as well, okay? All right, let us begin now our water communion ceremony. How did that feel? To just, I mean, some were really early in the line, some were longer, so you had to wait a little longer. I'm wondering what that felt like. I mean, talk to each other after the service and just say, what did that feel like? Because I could imagine for some, it felt like very vulnerable. What does vulnerable mean? Like kind of a little overwhelming, maybe a little scary. Pouring water. What does this water mean? And for others, it might not have held a lot of meaning. But what's cool is that no matter what meaning you add to this ritual, all of this water has now been gathered because of us. And someone might have noticed at the end there, I poured some of this water. Did anyone see that? What does this say? UUCCI ritual water. So does that mean that this has been used in other water ceremonies over the years? Whoa, that just got me on a vision. No, but it got me thinking, so that means that the flowing isn't just for this year ahead, but for the years ahead, all the years that we have the gift of being in community, which we hope is very many years. So this water will be, some of it will be put in the gardens, some of it will be boiled and added to this water, and some of it will go with you in the memory that you take from this day today. I hope that together as a community, we can continue to remember our little drops that we added, to remember that we can flow as one, and together we can seek the sea, no matter what that looks like for you in your life and for us as a congregation. May it be so, and amen.